USL Live podcast and the Season 53 Week 7 preview. I'm your host, Romulocks, and this show is a weekly podcast where we take a look at the results for the previous week, discuss the upcoming matches, and take your questions for the panel submitted to our mailbag. Join me to discuss all that and more. I am privileged to welcome into the broadcast booth my co-host for this evening. First up, we have Mecca.
Hello.
We have Yosh.
Ni hao.
We have Herthbul.
Evening, gentlemen.
And we have Eric.
Fuck pasta.
And a cat in there somewhere. First topic, let's talk about our last week games. Week 6, we returned to Y Station, which sounds like a lost Star Wars film. First up, we had Birds defeating Darkslayers 45-22. Your MVP in a shocking result was Colossal.
Yeah, I think it was his birthday, and also the ongoing troll is why he got MVP. I mean, not that he played bad; he did go 6-1. So, this game kind of went, I think, where we all expected it to go. Birds ended up winning by 23, so maybe a little bit more of a margin, but DS did have right side. I think there's a few mistakes that are pretty clear on DS's side on why they lost. There's the ender solo north central mid. There's the letting Jeff just solo flank under and nobody watching it to kind of the right of Volcano Pit by DS's base. And there's a few others too that I don't know off the top of my head, but there's just a few minor mistakes that DS made that led to their loss. I think if they clean those up, this would be a lot closer game. Also, I think if they had left, I think they're more comfortable in the left on this map. It would have been a little bit closer game, but shout out to Birds for playing well. Legacy popped off 18-5, Chompy 10-0, both gunning for the Deadliest Award. And then as far as DS, I want to shout out going 7-6, only positive player on the team. And we might circle around to the discussion who else should start for DS, because we had Uni going 2-1 and getting sub for Typhoon, who comes in and goes 0-3, and Brilhart no sub despite the struggles from a lot of the Marines and other classes on DS. So maybe they have to look at that going forward, especially next week versus season 27.
Yosh?
Sabo being very passive in this game. That's kind of what it came down to Darkslayers. There's multiple opportunities where he could have taken advantage of some opportunities and just didn't do it. I don't know if the lights were too bright or if he just didn't have any confidence in himself to be able to push against, the Birds guys, but they were really looking for him to kind of break open the battles for him, and it just didn't happen.
Hearth?
It was just, I think everyone kind of saw this match play out the way they expected to. It was very methodical and slow on both sides. Numbers got matched. You had Chompy versus Chuck in that AT duel all game. But Birds, they looked a little rusty in the beginning, which kind of shows because we really didn't SB that much that week. And you can definitely see it with some bad TG deaths. Mm-hmm. But later half of the game, they definitely buckled down and brought out the win. It really was Birds kind of capitalizing on those few Darkslayer mistakes, just letting those solo Marine flanks come out. Sabotage really did not look like the Sabotage we've seen all season. He played passive. He played just kind of almost in poor position sometimes and just most deaths. I mean, it's not the way we expect Sabotage to play. And Tyrael, especially on this map, I thought he'd kind of go Nader, abuse it with all the ridges on this map. Instead, he went demo, and he looked really ineffective. So hopefully they kind of work out the kinks for next week in their next competition.
He played both demo and Nader in the game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's ineffective on both.
Yeah. Go ahead, Eric.
All right. Not to echo what everybody else has already said. My thing is Dead joins Big Bird Club and gets 0 points, 0 assist points as a medic. To me, looking specifically just on paper, that tells me that Birds abused whatever group Abith was on, and that team was first to drop. That's it.
Yeah, I thought both teams started kind of tight in the beginning, but I think, we were just talking about, Birds dropping an early battle there, just looked out of form and like out of practice. But I think DS may have done them the biggest favor by taking the lead early. Birds just soared from that point on, and we've seen that over and over again at several times this season. Where if Birds go down early, you cannot count them out. That's where they play harder in that position, I think. Legacy 18-5, Chompy 10-0. Colossal, you called out as 6-1 earlier, Mecca. I thought he was one of the better players on the field for real in this game, not just with the MVP, but I thought he was legitimately one of the top 3 for sure. I think he got a few kills leached, or he might have been up there with them. Staley was 1-5, but he did hold down a lot of angles, and I'd say 2 or 3 of his deaths, in my opinion, were more like, if somebody has to die, it's him because they're pushing him. But there were a couple that were also pretty sloppy. I don't know. Fairfax and Slob, I thought, just played better as the medic duo. TG was, as to Hurst's point, he started out quite over aggressive, but he did make it work, especially when what was cool was in game. Gift was leading, and Tactical said, TG wasn't playing that well, and Tactical just said, "Hey, Gift, man, you're playing a little aggressive right now, man." Just said it just like that, and Gift changed from that point on. There was a clear change. And I just think it's cool that you can have guys check their leader like that mid-game, because it's tough to do that mid-game and for a leader to not, chalk it down to some other issue going on. But Gift took that constructive criticism immediately. For DS, Chuck showed up where but I wondered where everybody else was. The decision to switch off Uni for Typhoon, we're going to revisit that later, but Uni was 2-1. Typhoon came in and went 0-3. I think that's definitely a discussion point. King just disappeared, as you guys have said. Nader has consistently been a struggle against birds in general. That's just I just don't think it's a class that works against birds as well. Sabotage was shut down. Fausto at 1-7. When your kill leaders fail to produce, I think you're going to struggle as a team. And they were just some poorly timed and poorly executed pushes that led to them being cut down. And they were in a position where they basically had to push the whole game. So it just wasn't DS's day, I think.
Rumor is Fausto had a lot of Dos Equis before the match, dude.
See, yeah.
Can I add one thing too about that? About the Union Typhoon thing too. I generally think, like I said in last week's, that Typhoon has a higher ceiling, but Uni was also kind of keeping Chompy in check for some of the game. And I don't think you see Chompy, I think, only had like 2 or 3 kills till Uni got subbed. And then he kind of popped off after that because Uni was kind of holding that solo angle, being passive and not letting him push. And then you switch in Typhoon, who's the complete opposite style player. And I think that allowed Chompy to pop off more.
Yeah, it was definitely a switch in momentum, switch in just the way they were playing entirely, I thought. And I don't know that I would have made that choice because it seemed like things were going pretty well. I think he got subbed out like when it was like, 17-12 or something like that? It was still a really close game. Really close when he got subbed. Let's see here. Next game we had was Out for Blood defeated Law and Mortar 117-24, and your MVP was Cerrito.
Yeah, definitely shout out to Cerrito. I was telling Mountain and a couple of the guys that Cerrito, skill-wise, should have a starting spot on Out for Blood. He just didn't have the game sense yet. And I think every time they SB, every match he plays, it's going to grow and grow. And I really think that he has a bright future in this league. So shout out Cerrito. I think you might see him more because of some other decisions OFB have made. Maybe we can ask Yosh and Eric about that. Other than that, this was just a get right game for Out for Blood. Balance their stats, get some momentum going into a bye week into the final, into the playoffs. So shout out to them. And I did hear that RRU led Lawnmower, so good for him stepping up in the leading.
Yeah.
They definitely missed a couple key players here, though. No Victim, no Exodus, no Flow. So I think despite how Lawnmower played this week, I think if you add those 3 guys, they're still going to be pretty scary to V2 next week. Or, the final week of the season.
Yeah, I can't say enough good things about Cerrito, to be honest. Give him a couple more seasons, let him get some game sense. He'll be right up there. The aim, the mechanical skills there, he just needs to know about positioning and maps, stuff like that. As far as the game went, pretty big oof.
Yeah, it was nice to see Cerrito get some play time. I mean, he's really talented in CTF, so it's nice to see him branching out into USL, put his talents over there. Again, yeah, Yosh already alluded, it was kind of another beatdown, but are we really not going to talk about Eric kind of just running it down for the first half of the game?
I'll talk about it. But to go to what Mecca was alluding to, because I know he's fishing for the drama. I told both SV and ESO, like I made the lineup for the match. I told both of them though that I wanted Cerrito to play, and I felt like he deserved to play since he always shows up. I mean, he showed up when we needed somebody to play against Birds, albeit he only played for like 3 minutes, but he was still
But
there.
he was there.
shows up for
Yeah.
every SB. And this was the perfect match for him to get some playtime and try and figure out, what he needs to do in certain situations in an actual match. And he popped off. So that made Shasta be on the bench, who only shows up for stat pads. Apparently, I saw in spec chat via Metals screenshot that he was asking Shas, and apparently Shas said that he wasn't going to make the 2 weeks. He never communicated that to any of us, so we didn't know. We expected him to show for the big matches, so that's on him. If he's upset about it, too bad. As far as me running it down, I was laughing the first 3 deaths because they chased me like far east.
They sure
and
did.
Then I dashed into a nade, and then I dashed at the Jaguar and laughed as I missed everything. And then the only one that kind of tilted me a little bit was South. ESO called for a push on the Southeast group. I had already backed off, and I would have been safe, and I could have kept falling. But ESO called for the push and the pinch, so I said, okay, I'm right behind him. And nobody pinched that team with me.
They just
So I was just like, well,
you.
I'm dead. Yeah.
Okay.
During the match, it was kind of funny. I'm hoping Bonds recorded it. We got a imitation of Sov from ESO with the iron heel, only it was just a general medics thing. His voice got pretty high pitched. It was great. But other than that, it was good to see Cerrito pop off and earn that MVP.
Well, I think we can agree it was a very, very rough game for Law and Mortar and Eric. But Samara, Mountain, ESO get a huge stat pad game in. They feel good about their numbers now. Yosh stepped up. Look, go for it. Go, Yosh. 17-6. Eric and Water, I thought played well overall. I mean, in terms of numbers. But the best two for me were Bonds at 7-0 as medic and Cerrito, as we said, at Marine and Grenadier. He finished 16-2 on the game. I never really noticed how good he was before this game, so he kind of like took off his glasses and let down his hair in this one, and all of a sudden he was the hot chick out there. It was cool. It was fun to watch him going off as Nader, that's for sure. For LAM, I think it was good on Bowen for stepping up as Ripper. He got the job done at that position. Mecca and I were both harping about that, and he performed on that. I think that he needs to focus still a little bit more about where the players are going to be as opposed to where they are when he's aiming. But I think he had an okay game. Spark and RRU were probably the only other two that I think were of note on his roster in terms of helping out. I think there are some questions still, like Abyss as a medic. I don't know why you play as Abyss as a medic when he's clearly one of the best killers you have on that roster. You've got to put somebody else as medic and put him as a Marine. And Astro by himself pushing angles, I don't know what that was about, but that can't continue, that kind of stuff. So definitely some stuff that you guys can quickly and easily work out over there to improve on your game. But I am interested to see the starters, as it were, for LAM come in this week. Let's go to
two things.
Yeah,
right
go
before.
ahead.
Sorry. One, I've never seen Splitta so happy when Eric was the first 3 deaths. Splitta was the happiest man in the world. And two, I was reading, I forget what Discord I was reading, but Abyss said he offered a medic. He wanted a medic. Apparently, he helps make lineups or something, and he offered to play medic.
Well, sometimes you got to keep a guy from himself, right? Like sometimes, I'm sorry, we can't. It's like a great example of this is Kaga when he was always wanted a medic, and we were like, no, you cannot med. Shut your face. Stop. Like sometimes you just got to stop him from doing that. But anyway, next game was Weaponized Autism defeated V2 100-48 in a surprising game. Your MVP was Draco.
Yeah, I'm just checking some stats real quick, but I think V2 doubled their previous season high in kills this game. No, I guess they had 31 versus Dark Slayers, but yeah, V2 I think played way better than people expected. I know I shouted out on the broadcast, but I was saying that Cannibal was a big upgrade for them. Guy with a lot of experience in USL has played this game forever. I think adding him and actually him being active is definitely a boon to them and gives them a bigger threat versus Law and Mortar. You had that dude going Ripper, which all 5 of us have said constantly for the past however many seasons. So he
5
should not be on
seasons.
medic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's
And
good
he
at other
looked
things.
Yeah, and he looked okay. I mean, he didn't play as well as I expected him to, but I think he played better at Ripper than he would have as Med. And then Smackrock, shout out for him going 13-12, going positive in a 50 kill defeat. His LMG looked very in tune that game. I know a lot of it was kind of kill stealing, but he also still had the second most assist points for killing classes on the team. So shout out to them. And then Weaponized Autism, Justice for Iceman. I don't get it. Why don't people do subs anymore? You win by 15, you don't do any subs. Why wasn't Iceman in the game? But shout out to Dracolich coming in, probably having the best game of his career, I would imagine. Torch and Cage both had decent games to build off last week, and then Pandy dominated with 24 kills.
Yeah, I think V2 played better than, like Mecca said, like everybody thought they would. Not much to say about the game, sadly. Even though they did play somewhat well, WA still blew them out.
Mm-hmm.
So good on them for that.
Yeah, V2, I mean, we all knew this was going to happen. I guess best we can say is they didn't get blown out by as much as I thought they were going to get blown out. So, I mean, good on them for that. But in Weaponized Autism, yeah, it was another Pandy show, but it was nice to see Draco step up and really be a good Marine that game. And of course, yeah, Torch and Cage kind of did their best supporting role in that one as well.
Yeah, I think V2 found their starting lineup. I think as Mecca said, Mark the Great aka Cannibal definitely showed up big, proving that he is one of their best killers. I think there were a few times where he just ripped apart. I think it was Jaeger once, and then I think it might have been Torch the other one.
Yeah, it was.
And MTR's finally getting in tune with mortars, which is good to see. It's going to be good on Apollo's map. The only change I would make is Ghost off Ranger, put him on Marine, and if Law Mortar isn't careful, if they don't show their best players, they could lose to V2 this coming week. But other than that, Weaponized Autism got the stat pad, but I don't think even they were expecting as big of a fight out of V2 as they got.
Yeah, it was surprising for sure. I think that's the word to put with it. V2 just played way better than expected. And it wasn't just about, like, they put up a fight. They put up a legit fight towards the end of the game, even maybe more towards the beginning. I think Mecca and I were talking about how we were expecting it to drop off, and I think it kind of dropped off for WA a little bit, but I don't think that was WA's fault in gameplay. I think V2 just played more like a team as it went on. Weaponized Autism were led for the third week in a row by Pandy, who is 24-9. Draco, as Mecca said, maybe the best game of his career at second with 23-5. Torch and Cage falling right behind them. I think they have solidified their top 4 players for WA, and now it's just like a high school prom date or something, waiting to see if Ninja actually shows up on a Sunday. But you have Oct and Jaeger there as options as well, and Stav back in the lineup. Had 5303 healing today or this weekend, and it kind of gives Chica a break. She doesn't have to do the 6K again. That's Stab being there made all the difference. So, I think WA's chances are looking good. I think they're looking pretty solid walking into week 7.
I don't think you have to worry about Nin showing on Sundays. He was actually on earlier in the day. He doesn't care about stat pads. So
only competitive games for Nin. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on to week 7 games as we're talking about them. These are going to be revisiting Apollo's map. Our first, we don't know times yet. They haven't been scheduled yet, but let's just go into order the way they're scheduled. Which first game is Birds versus Weaponized Autism.
One thing before we go into that was Draco's best game for his infantry career by quite a margin. So shout out Draco again.
Yeah.
As far as Birds versus Weaponized Autism, I don't know how this match is going to go. I think if Weaponized Autism gets home and plays left, and BB is passive and plays south, it'll be closer. But I think it's pretty clear that Birds is going to win this game. I think the talent disparity is a little too much. You will probably see Ninja hopefully in this game, because if he's going to play competitive games, he's going to need it. They're going to need him for this. So hopefully we see Ninja in this. I would expect Rio to pop and Choppy to pop off in this game too, because I really like AT on this map. I know some people think it's bad, but getting that north angle or just trolling south by yourself on this map as AT, or getting vision north if you're afraid a team's gonna keep it slow and go north. The vision for AT on this map is just insane, and you can wiggle away pretty easily. So even if you run into a team of 2 or 3, you can dash and use your speed, and you can pretty much get out. So hopefully Ninja does show up and play AT and not Ranger for whatever reason. Other than that, I think Birds is going to win this by probably 35-45, somewhere in there.
Yeah, I agree with Mecca. It should be right around that. If Bird can get the left side and play very reserved, then, I think the first 15 minutes of the match is going to be fairly slow and competitive. But if he decides to go straight at them, Birds are just going to mow him down.
I'm just thinking, I think he's probably going to play pretty defensive because he tried to do that versus Season 27, and it really didn't work out for Bird. So I'd be curious to see if he wants to try to adopt that same strategy versus Birds, or whether he'll actually, be a bit more mobile on the map. But I think it's really going to come down to, and Mecca alluded to, it's going to come down to Ninja, really what class he plays. Because last time I hate to say it, but he went Ranger and it really felt like he was trolling the whole game. So hopefully he tries to play AT and they can be a little bit competitive. At the end of the game, though, I think Bird's experience and leadership is just going to be a little too much for him on this map, though. And Birds will probably win by 3 to 4 battles.
I have an inside source that tells me Ninja mutes everybody on Discord and just plays the game.
Can you blame him?
Go ahead, Rum, before I go into it.
No, absolutely, by all means.
Okay. I think you see Bird slow it down. I think he's gonna implement the same game plan he tried to do against Dark Slayers on Bomb's map. Doesn't matter. It does matter what side, but regardless of if he's right or left, he is going to go ahead and slow it down, keep it reserved. I do think it works, kind of like what Josh was saying, for the first 15 minutes, and then the floodgates are going to open. I think Pandy's had two or three good games in a row. He's due for playoff Pandy, where he's going to possibly run it down or just be the focus, because I know Ernie will call out Pandy for focus fire because he is going to be leading out in the front. You saw it even against V2 in a stat pad. He was just running into bullets in a straight line, no fear, and they just didn't really punish him all that much about it, but Birds will. So I think Birds takes this probably by 25, 30 kills.
Yeah, I'm kind of in line with you as well, Eric. I think Mecca's prediction was pretty spot on. I do see this. It just comes down to individual players in my mind, and I think outside of maybe Stav, Birds have a superior player at every position, and I think we're just going to see that as they get whittled down over time. I don't think Ninja by himself can. I don't think Ninja's going to be able to. He'll just make the severity of the loss a little bit less if he's there and if he's playing well. I think it's still going to be, even with him there, 30-ish. And I think if he doesn't show, it's going to be 40 to 50, more like 50 probably. But I definitely think Birds are churning right now, looking really good. And WA, while they have stepped up a lot, I don't think this is the game where they make that leap and beat a top tier team. So let's move on to the second game of the night. Probably the most interesting for everybody is Law and Mortar versus V2. I think this is your match of the week for sure.
Yeah, I can't wait to announce this game. These are my favorite games to announce, as well as Eric and Yosh. So hopefully we all get in the booth for this, because some funny shit can happen when you get teams like this against each other. And this is going to be especially good because it's for a playoff spot. So you add the extra pressure. It reminds me, I forget the squads, but back squad versus whatever squad happened on Urban Decay a few seasons ago, and it was for like the only team to go winless or whatever. So there's extra stakes, and the game ended up going right down to the wire. I think they won by 3. Tragedy came in and got like 4 kills in the final 2 minutes or something. So hopefully we see some more drama like that. It just makes the league better when you have these kind of teams playing important matches, because then the next season maybe some of these guys hop to mid-tier or top-tier squads, and they kind of get the hankering for USL, especially some of the CTF guys on Law and Mortar if they don't come back. So that'd be good to see. All in all, I think I'm picking Law and Mortar. I know V2 looked better than Law and Mortar this weekend, but if V2 plays Ava and then Law and Mortar gets in Exodus, Flow, and Victim, I just don't see how V2 wins that.
I'm excited for this game. I like seeing these teams play each other, and this is kind of like the new guard of USL versus some of the old guard. You've got a lot of guys on V2 that's been around for multiple seasons now. The one guy that I want to see play on V2 is Karatank, though. I think if you're gonna save him for the important games, this is the one he needs to come in. All right, they need him for this game right now. Right. Plus, you have a little bit of not CTF drama, but you have the RR versus CT. Who carried who, and the championship. Well, you could settle it on Sunday in a different league. I think it'll just be funny to watch. Right. As far as how the game's gonna go, I'm not too sure. I know Axis and RR are gonna do very well. It's just who else is gonna step up for Law and Mortar. You need a good game from Bowen to come out, right? And I've heard rumors that he's been banned. Is he even going to be allowed to play the game? Right. I don't know the whole situation on any of that, but they need him in this game. I think
He was only banned from Discord.
Oh, okay, not in the game. Okay, cool. For V2, you need Mike C not to play Ranger. He's been trolling. If you want to win and get into the playoffs, Mike C, this is your chance. Show everybody what you got, bud.
I'm excited for myself. I'm excited on behalf of both of these squads because after the beatdowns that these guys have taken all season, this is the first legitimate chance both have of actually getting a win. And I hope both squads show the full lineups. I hope both squads don't troll. I mean, I think Law and Mortar is going to win because you're going to have Axies, LMG. I'd like to see Fizz come in as AT. I'd be curious to see whether Bowen tries to play Ripper because I know he's been doing that a lot recently, or whether he'll stick to Marine. You'll have Victim coming as a seasoned medic. I think there's just a little bit more talent on Law and Mortar at the end of the day versus V2, even though like V2 did look really good. Well, I'm not going to say really good, but look, by their standards, they looked much better this previous weekend as opposed to the other 4 weeks. So I'm on V2 side. I'm hoping Cal has a good game. He's been really kind of stepping it up as medic, and he's been the one person that's kind of been shining for them this season. Plus, I think MTR3 as Nader might have some good opportunities with mortars because the CTF guys don't exactly have the awareness yet to dodge the big screaming projectile hanging their way. So I that's going to be a game to watch. It's definitely going to be the match of the week.
I both hope that Herth learns how to speak English.
Sorry that I said that you ran it down.
I think I know I said earlier when we were discussing V2 versus WA that they found their lineup. I would make one slight adjustment. I would spec Eva, make DP medic, and have Llama and Azu
100%.
play.
Wow.
Because Llama's got some killer aim, and I feel like he'd be able to finish probably the weaker players of Law and Mortar in these close fights. I do expect this to be a close game. And just based off of, obviously, Law and Mortar was missing people against us, but just based off this last week's performance, I see V2 eking out a win here. I think the experience, and I think a big game from Mark, aka Cannibal, I think they take it. I think it's going to be a 5-kill game. It's going to be a high-scoring game because I don't think either of these teams really want to camp. Especially when they both think they can win, they're gonna push each other, and it's gonna be glorious to watch and cast.
Yeah, man, I do. Let me extend the invitation. I think that is the crew we'll run with is Mecca, Yosh, Eric, and myself doing that for the crew on this game. I think it's going to be a really fun one to watch. I think Mecca, what you were talking about was the old games back again with Taking Back Sunday against Knock Your Punk Ass Down. I think those are the games
Yeah.
you're talking about. And that's exactly
Yep.
what I see. And you kind of don't remember, but like I'm looking at the rosters, you know, it was Bax, Lunatic, Oct, Uni, SK, -0 against Ghost Bomber, Typhoon, Big Bird, TD, you know, Septicemia. Like those are interesting personalities on both sides. And it wasn't, you know, like I don't think it's insulting to the squads of today to compare them. I think they're very similar. I think for Law and Mortar, the additions of Flow, Exodus, and Victim, I think can't be underscored. Them being in the starting lineup changes the composure of the team a whole lot. But I think Bowen gets to. I mean, that'll improve Bowen's ability as a ripper when he drops down. In terms of the pecking order there, I think RRU has had some really great games. Worth has showed out quite a bit. And I've been talking about Abyss all season long. I think that's the game you put Abyss in that starting 8, and he needs to play. On the other side, I think probably the most important player in my mind is Jim, because he's a player that nobody's counting on to really produce, and I've seen his ability to produce. The guy can kill really well. Karatank as well, I think needs to be in that starting lineup. Llama, we saw what SmackDown did in this weekend at LMG.
SmackDown.
Smack Rock. I'm sorry. I'm WWE casting, apparently. My apologies. I meant Smack Rock. We saw what he did. I think he needs to be on LMG again. That guy was producing this weekend. And if Ghost can, as you said, stop trolling, get off Ranger, get on the Marine, add Cannibal to that roster, you can start getting some hits. I don't know, man. I think it's really anybody's game. I lean towards Law and Mortar, but I kind of have all season. But I'm excited to cast it, see what happens. Any final comments on that match of the week?
Negative.
Okay. Last game for week 7 is going to be Season 27 versus Darkslayers.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one too. Darkslayers starting undefeated and then having to play Birds and Season 27 in the last 2 weeks is, I don't know if it's going to be good for their morale going into the playoffs. I mean, we'll see how they play against us on Sunday. On Apollo's map, though, they do have a chance. They're gonna, especially if they get home and take left side, they're gonna keep it super slow and camp that left side. And that side is harder to break than the right side. I still have faith that we can break it, you know, with some interesting Sov AT plays and just, you know, superior focus fire. So I do think that Season 27 is going to take this, but depending on if it's home or away, I can't really predict the score. So I'll just say Season 27 wins by 2 battles.
I'm looking for Darkslayers to come out, Sabotage especially, to be a little bit more aggressive in this game. Not over, but not as careful as he was in the Birds game. I think they need a big performance from him in order to have a chance in this game. If he does well, then I can see this, you know, within a battle. But if some of these guys are having off games, this could get real ugly real quick, especially on this map. But a lot of it comes down to who's going to win that left side. If Darkslayers gets that left side, we're in for a grindy match. So,
yeah, I think this game, I was going to say, I agree with you. Yeah, this is just going to come down to the coin flip. If Darkslayers gets left side, it's going to suit them way for their strategies. And we're going to see, again, like you said, a very grindy game, very campy. And it's going to be up to Season 27 to kind of break that. But vice versa, I think Season 27 might almost kind of do the same thing like they did versus Birds. And hopefully, you know, I don't expect Season 27 to lose it at the end like they did versus Birds. They'll probably completely dominate Darkslayers at that point. I expect Chuck to kind of get outclassed by Saab a lot on the AT on this one. I mean, if I use the Birds versus Season 27 example, like Chomp went 1-2, whereas Saab had the game of his life. And even then, Season 27 still lost. But I expect Saab to just kind of give Chuck the business on this one. And Vision's so important on this map. For Darkslayers to win... What's that, Eric?
No, go ahead.
Sorry. No, at first, Darkslayers to win, they're really going to have to be very methodical, very controlled. Sabotage is really going to have to step up compared to this previous weekend, along with all of their Marine casts, because for the most part, none of them really performed that well. So Normally this would be the match of the week, but I think we're all, as we said earlier, we're all looking forward to the Law and Order match versus V2 instead. But this should also be a very good game. I expect season 27 to win it by, I'm going to go 15.
I think this is going to be a fucking snooze fest. It doesn't matter which side DS or Season 27 get on. Both are going to play it very slow. I think Season 27 will capitalize better on the angles because it's Sov and Mecca in the lineup this time as well, especially if they get the left side. It's going to be boring. I don't even think this is a contender for match of the week. The V2 versus LAM is just much more entertaining. I think season 27 is probably going to win by kind of what Mecca said, probably about 2 battles. It's just going to be super slow for the first like 20 minutes of the game. Unless season 27 can get a clean battle right off the rip and pin them at their base and just corral them wherever they see that they're going and just run up the score. And especially if Typhoon's in running it down over Uni for whatever reason, again, it's going to be a oof. But yeah, 2 battles for the most part.
Yeah, I don't have a lot to add to this. I agree with what you all have said, except to say I think that Dark Slayers have probably a better shot in my mind if they want to risk it to possibly get this win. But they're going to have to risk it if they want to do that. And I don't think they're going to be willing to risk it. I think they're going to try and stale it out. And hope for the win in the end, and I think that's going to favor season 27. I think they need to be willing to risk it if they want to pull it out, and I think that comes down to the Marines, them performing as Herth said, Ender, Sabotage, King, your killers. You got to have those guys perform, and I think they're best when they're on the push and being really aggressive. And that is just not the play style that season 27 is going to let them play easily, but they're going to have to commit to it and try to outflank season 27, which is a bold move to begin with. But that's if they want to get the win, I think that's how they do it, because if they play it slow, season 27 wins it. I just think there's no question they win it. But I agree with what you guys have said. I think it's going to be 3 or 4 or 5 battles somewhere in there. Let's see here. So that'll wrap it up for week 7 games. Out for Blood, their season is over. I don't think we noted that before. So we'll see them again in postseason. Otherwise, let's go to the mailbag. First up, let's start with a Mecca question. He introduced this to us. Let's go through every class and decide if we can even agree to what the class needs. Each panelist needs to say nerf, buff, or keep it for each class currently playable in USL, and maybe we do some explanation if we can't agree on it. Let's start with Marine.
Keep it.
Keep it.
Keep it.
Keep it.
Keep it. Let's go to Medic.
Keep it.
I'm gonna say buff it.
Ooh,
I'm
no.
gonna say there was a time when Tyrael was dev, we had a combat medic and a subclass field surgeon that focused primarily more on healing. It would be interesting to see. So I could go either way, buff it or keep it.
I think we keep it.
I think we lose the fucking biodart is what we do.
No.
And then we keep it otherwise.
Here we go.
You need to adjust.
Maybe if you could aim biodarts, you'd feel different.
Maybe I would.
Ooh.
Maybe I would feel different. Let's talk about Ripper Gunner.
Fuck. Get rid of heavy. Ripper, maybe. I think it needs a slight buff. I just don't know what it would be, so I'm hesitant to say it. And I'm just going to say keep it, because I think on some maps it's completely viable. So
I do like pass through bullets, but I would say keep it the way it is.
I'm gonna say delete it
Oh, hey!
and add
Hot
in
take.
war machine time, baby.
All right, get this guy out of here.
Man, you're
Got her.
No, I think we keep it. I think Ripper really just comes down to the map more than the class. So, like, if you want to make Ripper viable, you got to change the map structure.
Yeah, I think Ripper is good on certain maps too. Just, I think, sorry to Bogart Hertz time here, but there's certain map rotations for certain seasons. Like this season might not be a great Ripper map, so it seems like Ripper needs a buff. And then other seasons, if you're playing like KR and EC, it seems like it needs a nerf. So I think that's why I said keep it too.
All right.
Yeah, I think you get rid of Heavy Ripper. I was never in agreement to having it in to begin with. It just doesn't really make sense because Ripper's main issue, right, is to be able to keep up in fights, and not having the pass-through Ripper bullets, you're kind of useless. I think if we were to buff it, there was a point in time where there's a runner gunner bullet or runner gunner gun that did a 3-burst slow.
So
yeah, slow, but you could at least push forward and move, and it was a 3-burst gun. 3 or 5, yeah, I think Kevin's right, 5 burst. But other than that, keep it.
Okay. Grenadier.
buff. You know how annoying it is playing. I play a lot of classes in SBs during the week, and I don't play them on Sundays, and there's a lot of reasons for that. But if I shoot a fucking medic in the head with a 40 at the proper distance,
Instantaneous
they don't
death.
even heal and they live.
That
I'm
should
sorry.
never happen. Ever.
Agreed. If it's an AT with armor, I understand. If it's a full HP Marine, maybe I can see it. But if I shoot a fucking medic in the head with a 40, even if they heal, that should be an instant death.
It takes skill to land a 40 right on somebody's face, and you should be rewarded
100%.
with a death on that every time.
Especially when they change the fucking arc every season. So you have to get used to the new arc, and then it doesn't kill anyway. So what the fuck is the point?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what you do with that class, man. Like, I want to say buff it, but a nader can be real annoying if you give it too much power.
What if you increase the damage just a touch?
Or just increase. Yeah. Yeah.
I know a good trade-off.
Mortar on a timer instead of 2.
So, well, I think you, instead of the explosion damage on mortar, you change it to a dot.
Oh,
And then you
nerf.
buff the 40 damage. So it's a trade-off. That way people actually have a little bit more time to react to the mortar. Like, if you don't pre-heal, you'll still die to the dot, right? But it gives a little bit more timing.
Yeah, I think if you wanted to buff mortar, nerf mortar, you'd have to buff the 40 because mortar's kind of the only good thing about Nader right now is because it can open battles. So if you do nerf that, you'd have to do something. Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
I'd probably increase the 40s by like 5 HP or something like that. Nothing huge. And then I would definitely consider, and I've said this many times, adding a mortar for each of the medics to carry. I think that would be cool.
Sure.
But that's my suggestion on that. I think we all generally agree Grenadier may need a little touch up, but overall we like it. It's a good part of the league. Let's see here. Light machine gunner. I say keep
nerf.
it. Let me go ahead and say keep it.
I say nerf. It's pretty obvious. If you look at the top 10 kills right now, literally the top 4 in kills are LMG. There's no Marines. It's all LMG. Number 5, AT.
Well, it makes sense. It's basically it's an advanced Marine.
You only get one, I know, but it's just so fucking OP. I did have a follow-up mailbag question about LMG. I'm just going to slip in right here. Just to kind of summarize it. LMG continues to rank 1 for almost every team in almost every game. Are we still buying the argument that LMG is simply a role utilized well by specialists, or does it upgrade almost any Marine into a demigod? And I think it's the latter. Any Marine that plays LMG instantly looks better. I don't want to rag on Smackrock. Yeah, Kaga's Marine is good, but like as an LMG, he's a top killer. Smackrock going positive in a 50 fucking kill loss. Like, at what point do we just...
All these guys can be killers as Marines. They can absolutely slay as Marines.
But not to that level.
Maybe it does add just a little bit, but it doesn't make them a demigod.
It adds more than just a little bit.
It adds more than a little bit.
It adds a lot.
You don't have to gut LMG, but it definitely deserves a nerf.
So what is the nerf?
Clip size.
Clip size, bullet damage.
I don't think you need to go with both. I think you just
one of the other.
Is it at 60 right now? What's it at? 55?
Clip size, I think, is 45.
45. So you go down to 40?
Spoil says load time. Their load is already pretty massive.
No, I don't.
So
you can't
you
fuck
don't
with
touch
loads
load
because
time.
the issue with fucking with load time is yes, it might nerf the class, but it makes the game feel worse. So I don't ever endorse fucking with load times, just because it feels so bad, like not being able to shoot your gun. Like that doesn't feel like a nerf. That just feels like a bad nerf. So I would say clip size or something. I don't know, but I think it's pretty obvious that it's the most OP class in the game, and it's not close. If you're gonna nerf AT and then just keep LMG the same, like there's no logic there. It's broken logic.
Well, it sounds like the community is in agreement about nerfing LMG, and I'm the odd man out on that. Let's talk about AT. What do you guys think?
I think it needs another nerf. Not much. Because I think it's in a pretty good spot. I like the dash timer. I don't want the dash timer to go up. I would say maybe take one out of the clip size. Because right now they can rush in, miss their first 2 or 3 dual pistols, and then still one clip a Marine. And a Marine, meanwhile, would have to hit. What would they have to hit? 10 AR, 11 AR to kill an AT.
So what is it? Is it
It just-
8 or 9 total shots?
I don't know what the. No, I think
You're just talking about reducing it by 2.
It's 10. It's 10.
Okay,
now.
so
10,
so
yeah.
taking
So
it down to
if it
9
was-
is what you want.
Yeah, 8 or 9. 9 probably is fair. It just has too much burst damage. And I get it. There's only one, blah blah blah. But with the advantages of that it gives you for vision and the speed and the dash, it just seems like it's just too much. It can control the game way too much for one class.
I think you keep it. I think it's fine.
I'd say keep it. too.
Shocker.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
say I'm gonna agree with Mecca here. You nerf it.
I think
Take
he needs
down the
to nerf.
bullet.
Yeah,
Take
you're
down the
just not
bullets.
punished enough for a bad play on AT.
No, you can come in, you can miss your first 3 clips, still kill Marine in 1 clip, and then dash away.
But I will
It's like-
say this: if you don't touch LMG, do not touch AT again. For the
100%
love
agree.
of God.
Oh yeah,
100% agree. That'd be silly. If you're gonna nerf AT, you have to nerf LMG first. I think that's a priority.
Okay. So right now it sounds like the majority are saying that LMG needs a touchdown, Assault Trooper needs a touchdown, Grenadier might need a slight buff. Is that fair right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Demolitions expert, Demo.
Oh, wait. Actually, before we go to that, Slav just had a really good comment. He said you should just have to pick between AT or LMG and pick your style.
Ooh.
That's actually really good because then you don't need to nerf either.
I don't know. I think AT just because of the vision advantage. I think AT is like a guaranteed pick.
I don't know. I don't know. And that's a very interesting comment.
I think you see a majority of people pick LMG over.
Yeah.
I think so
I
too.
think
Too.
your own squad, Hearth picks LMG.
But
over
Chompy,
100%.
it's going to be a legitimate fist fight between Chompy and Rio. What happens there?
No.
No, it's not.
No,
No, it's
TG
not.
will tell
It's
Chompy
not.
to shut the fuck up and go Ranger.
Yes, 100%.
Even though
that's
Chompy's
not
AT is
even
amazing,
close.
it's not about that. But Rio as LMG is just too dominant.
Interesting. That's an
Shout out to
interesting
Slav.
comment.
That's a really good. Yeah, shout out to Slav for that one. That's really good.
Definitely something to keep in mind. And I think that might solve all problems in one moment. But
Yeah, and it plays with the meta a little bit too. You know, like, oh, what is this class? Are they going to run LMG? Are they going to run AT? So it changes the play style a little bit, which I'm always in favor of, keeping the play style fresh.
I actually think you see, for the most part, aside from maybe like one squad, just everybody runs LMG. I think AT then disappears.
What
be
would
fair.
season 27 run? Kaga LMG
I
or
mean,
Sav
is
AT?
Sav? Yeah,
Sav.
I think
Sav-
Sav's
no.
going to run AT.
Right.
I think
so too.
so. I think Sav will play Marine and then
Yeah, I think
LMG.
I think there's not Sov's just good at every class, right? There's not as big of a trade-off from him switching from AT to Marine versus Kaga switching LMG to Marine.
Sav said, no, I'm going to go
Still-
LMG because I know Kaga's a Marine as a bot.
That's fair too. That's also fair.
I do think that's true skill wise, but with what Sav can give you as LMG as far as controlling the map and vision, I know he's a good Marine, but I think I would rather have Sav AT.
Huh.
It just opens so many doors for you.
That's an interesting question and something we should maybe keep in mind in the off season. All right, let's talk about demo. Where are we at on that?
This one's hard because I want to say buff because it's not utilized well. But it's if you get a good player on demo,
Put it
on
in
the right
champions'
map,
hands.
yeah, Champ or Sav or Ernie
say this.
previously. I don't know. Go ahead.
Demo feels like one of the classes that is really reliant on your team to be on the same page with you.
For sure.
Because if you're calling your hits, people focus that, it's great. But if you're just playing it on a team that just to have it, it feels bad. So
Agreed.
if we're looking at the average player, I think it could use like a higher inner damage buff. The outer can stay the same, or vice versa. Inner stays the same, outer damage buff on the RPG. Other than that, I think it's fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's fine.
I'd probably keep it. I do think it's the highest skill class in the game. It's the hardest. It's got the most rarefied air in terms of who's playing it.
It's the biggest skill variance on that class is. I think the only people who are ever effective on demo are like also top 10 Marines. So I don't think that's a coincidence.
Exactly. Finally, we have Ranger.
It just needs it. The original idea or concept of it needs to be scrapped. I think you work off the MP5 because that gun is cool and it's good.
Yeah.
And I think you scrap this long rifle or whatever. You can keep the knife, whatever, but you got to find a secondary gun for it. And if you do that, I think you have to increase the range on MP5, but not by much. Not by much. I would say the same distance as AT auto pistol.
I got an idea here. Delete it.
Yeah, that's fair.
And replace it with elite
with sniper.
No, the flamer energy balancing rifle.
Well, that's the next question. Yeah. That's the next question. Let's go to that. Let's go ahead and go to that question now. Is there a new class type? Is there a new class type that would get your support for inclusion in USL? And if so, why?
War Machine and the super elite is what I'll call it.
Well, it's Inferno and Elite. Elite is the bouncy. Inferno is the flame.
The Inferno Elite is what you'll call it, I guess.
So you want it to have bouncy burning bullets?
I mean, he wants it to have the bouncy. Don't give him ideas. He wants the flamer and the bouncy bullets. So instead of the PDW as the secondary, it's the bouncy bullets and then the flamer projectile.
Dude, while we're on it, we'll just give the bouncy bullets burning damage too. Let's do this.
I want to shout out MP, man. I thought War Machine was really fun. I thought it was really fun. I would like to see that at least get tried for a season. I thought MP did a good job in the development of that, and I think we might have overlooked it a little too quick.
No, I don't think so. I think the only one that has a chance, I think, is Trooper. I don't know if you guys have played it yet, but that's the only one that has a chance to make USL.
What's that?
It's a pub class. Basically, it has AR, but it has 10 more bullets, but no law, no shotgun. But it has 10 more bullets in the clip.
No one's using that shit. That's
worthless. You couldn't on like KR long range battle.
You're never using that.
What do you think about what do you think about Saab's idea of the Tyrael's Nova Trooper with a 4-shot AR LMG, like a I don't know, like a battle rifle from Halo?
I'm in for anything new.
That'd be kind of it'd be very different for like the staccato rhythm of the shooting would be very interesting compared with the continuous stream like with the Marine. It's kind of like it's like Beat Saber or something in terms of differences.
Yeah, it would mess up everyone's dodging and strafing rhythms right now.
Yeah, that'd be really interesting. It'd throw a wrench in it for sure. It'd change up the dynamic.
I got an idea.
Oh no!
Bring in armored infill.
I know there's a bunch of guys out there. I got an idea. How about Marines and fucking medics? How about that?
I'm retiring at that point.
I like ROM 6 Marines, 2 medics. Let's go back to old school.
You really don't want that. Shit's the most boring game.
Molo said infantry, baby. All right. Let's move on. I have some complaints about fantasy scoring. This past weekend, Out for Blood played against Law and Mortar. Bonds and Water were both medics for Out for Blood in that game. Bonds went 7-0, while Water finished 5-4. but somehow Bonds got a score of 28 points for my team, while Water managed to only get 53 points. How does this possibly make sense, and why are our fantasy numbers so janked up?
Because of
assist
the
point
ratio. Yeah, it's the assist point ratio, and at that point, the formula or whatever is essentially pulling Bonds as a Marine.
Yep.
Because of the ratio that he had, right? Whereas Water, yeah, similar healing numbers, but the ratio and assist points actually classified him correctly as a medic.
So
Obviously, I think there's definitely some tweaks that
Yeah.
could be made, but that's just kind of like one of those one-offs. Rarely do you see medics going 7-0 and messing up that scoreline. You know what I mean?
I definitely think there should be some tweaking done to all the rating systems,
Yeah,
but
I
we
was
talked
talking
about
to
this endlessly.
I was talking to somebody about this earlier, and I think the same person who asked the question suggested maybe have like a couple points per 1,000 heals or something like that instead of the assist point thing. So I don't know if Chris would do it or not, but say you get 10 points per 1,000 heals or 5 points per 1,000 heals, something like that. And then you still get the same as Marine, you get negative for deaths and all that stuff too. So it's not too imbalanced. Something like that could work.
Going to the next one. Question for you guys. If season 27 happened to win the championship in season 53, does Bax get a ring? Given that he is currently banned, and considering all of his games this season were for V2, does he even deserve a ring?
I think
No.
anybody serving a league ban or punishment should be excluded from any possible awards that the squad may get.
Agreed.
Agreed.
I'm going to go the other way. Give it to him.
Oh, man. Okay, Yosh is going to be the odd man out because I'm definitely going to be in agreement. If you are banned from receiving any award as well. That has definitely got to be part of it. I'm not saying I support his ban. I don't know anything about it. I didn't make the decision. I'm just saying that has to be a line in the sand that we draw.
We have no lines in the sand here, Rom. Let's be honest.
That's
Somebody
so true.
Somebody said, "Why is Yosh always wrong?"
That's the beauty of it. I can always be wrong.
The pot stir comes in. Yes. Noir hitting it right on the head. When was the last time that you guys remember this league seeing a major upset from a tertiary or even fourth-ranked squad? Love the use of tertiary, by the way. Season after season, it seems like there are always two clear favorites and a fringe third-place team. This season, with Darkslayers performing well, it had me wondering when the last time we saw a squad outside of the usual top two actually win a championship. I do not remember a time. I sat and thought about it. I can in SL.
Is that a non-favorite one? Out of the top two?
Or upset?
It happened a lot in SL.
The only thing I can think of is when Sov and Iron joined Pam Goes Ham in the salary cap season, and it was Sov, Iron, and Soul. Those three carried Palm
Chain
and whoever else on that squad to the championship match and almost won it.
Yeah.
And that was a draft league, you said? It's almost like
it was
draft
salary
leagues
cap.
make it exciting.
Well, no, it was salary.
Okay, salary cap. Almost like salary cap's making it exciting.
Well, that's actually my question. Should we consider doing a salary or draft season?
Why not? Let's change it up for one season.
I'll tell you why we don't, and I'll tell you why we do.
One time.
Hold on. One, it's a lot of fucking work on poor Chris.
Well, yeah, that's a good point.
Think of poor Chris here.
I mean, couldn't we just use we could revise the current fantasy numbers and use the fantasy numbers as our metric.
The draft, not so much, but salary, that's a headache and a fucking half. The draft, not so much, right?
Chris already said that he's not going to program the salary cap. So.
I think I did read that comment.
But should we do a draft? But then here's the thing. Like it's been said before, a majority of guys just want to play together.
For sure. But man, it's a game that we all play.
Like most of your team would not play.
I don't think that's true at all.
think
People
it's
have
true
said
at
that.
all.
I
I
don't
think
think.
I think it might be.
I think it's 100% true.
I was gonna say, like, as an outsider coming into this, you guys have a lot of drama built up over the years. I don't think you could, in a draft season or a salary cap season, get that many players that even like to play with each
Yeah,
other.
what if Split and Eric got put on the same fucking team? Like, what if that happened?
I wouldn't play.
That'd be funny.
Or Jeff and Splitta?
I
would love
mean,
it.
the offer was already made, and I did not join season 27. So, like,
That's an interesting
Yeah.
thought about maybe Octaz. Maybe you start with a like a core group, like like 4 people put in their bid to have a team, and then they draft the remainder.
That's how they did OVDL and CTF. You could get like 5 people, and then they had a draft.
What do you think about that?
I don't know. I think that the signups would be a hell of a lot less than you think they are.
Yes. I think so as well.
Yep.
And
you
especially-
go
Go ahead, Eric.
you go from 7 squads to probably back down to 4.
And
Yeah.
here's the thing. If you're somebody like, I'm just going to throw somebody out there, that dude, right? Say you want to play and there's only 4, maybe 5. Hell, we'll say there's even 6 teams. Be generous with it.
Yeah. You're
What
never
is the
touching
opportunity that he's going to get to play?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Very small.
All right. Well,
Especially if he goes, I want to play med. Then I'm saying, hell no, you stay on the bench.
some
You wanna
obvious
play with her?
negatives.
We can do it.
It does seem like my idea, though, is that it'd be nice to mix. The league has mixed. It was more stacked than it is right now this season, I think. And I would like to see it be a little less stacked, be a little more dispersed, because I think the most interesting games is what we're talking about with V2 and Law and Mortar, when it's competitive. That's the game everybody wants to see. And the more, when it's dispersed, you're going to see more competitive games. So how do we get there is the question. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, we don't.
we don't have answers for that. I agree.
I think. Well, I just one more like last and drop on this. I mean, this game's 25 fucking years old, and I had this argument with Teriel in Spec Chat the other day. He was just like, "Oh, people just want to play with friends," but like, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
That's not a bad thing.
A
game is
lot of
25
us,
fucking years old, man. Like, I
Yeah.
love playing
And if
with
you've been
certain
talking
people.
to a guy, like in the case that I have with a bunch of you guys for 20 years, and I don't consider you a friend, like, what the fuck? Like, I've known you for
Yeah.
20 years. Like,
Yeah.
like,
not only that, but like a lot of us that are quote unquote friends, right? That people just don't understand why we keep playing together. We all play different games together outside
Yeah,
of
and
infantry.
I tried to describe that to him too, and I was like, he's like, "Oh, but what blah 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 blah? Don't you want talent disparity?" You're like, "Yeah, but also I play League or right now Supervive with these guys and shit. Like, why the fuck do I want to play with V2?"
yeah, I get what you're saying. I get that too. Let's see here. Let's revisit this question from last week. Darkslayers are locked in with Chuck, Sabotage, King, Fausto, Manu, and Abath. You are the captain now. And you have 2 players to select for the final 2 coveted starting spots. Your choices are Universal Soldier 2K, Ender, Typhoon, or Brillheart. There are other choices, but not with any consistency. Which 2 of those are you picking?
What were the 2 again? Sorry.
They are Universal Uni, Ender, Typhoon, and Brillheart.
I'm going with what I said last week. Uni and Ender. Uni was 2-1 before he got benched for Typhoon, who ran it down and went 0-3 like a bot.
You know what? I still stick with Ender and Brill. I think it's a travesty that Brill didn't get subbed in for a couple people on DS that were clearly not having good games. And Brill has been there, done that. Championship experience, good squad experience, a vet. I just don't understand why he didn't get in the game at all.
Hearth, Yosh?
I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Uni, Ender. If Ender is not active, I want Brill in.
It's got to be Ender and Brill.
Oh,
Interesting. We got a split here. Uni and Brill.
Because I mean, what did we just say about the match? When Uni got spec'd, who was holding the solo angle the entire time, keeping Chompy at bay as a Marine, Chompy ran wild when he got specced.
It's
I
like
don't
the
think
question-
you see that from Brillhart.
It's like the question, how would you feel today if you didn't eat breakfast? Like, Brill wasn't in the game, so we don't know how he would have done, but we do know how Uni being gone from the game affected the game. The question is, would Brill have done what Uni did at least? And I think there's definitely an argument to say he would have done basically the exact same thing.
I think y'all don't give Uni enough credit.
I think you guys don't give Brill enough credit. I think it's crazy at this point.
I like this. I like the division on this issue. I'm interested to hear the community weigh in on this question. Who do you take, Brill or Uni? Because I'll go ahead and say I called it for Typhoon in the Week 6 preview. He really let me down in this game. I love you, Typhoon, but you got to play better than that. And right now, I don't think it was all his fault necessarily, but he just did not push back hard enough and hold some of those angles. And
No, it was his fault. Did you not see the positioning he put himself in?
I said all his fault. I said all. I do think there were some issues with his play. That's unquestionable.
Well, the real thing with
lose his damn mind.
the real thing with Typhoon too is he's just not active. Like, when was the last time you saw Typhoon in an SV with DS? I get he's busy and stuff, but like he's just not active. So at some point you have to understand like he's going to be faded if he never plays.
I think they're just trying to dance with the girl that brought him, you know what I mean, and play Typhoon when he's there because he's been there for the past 2 seasons. But I think at this point, I think you got to look deeper in the roster. And Ender's a clear cut, no question. The question is Brill or Uni, and I think either one of those is very fine. But right now, I think it's Uni. That's my view. But anyway, which teams from season 53 would you label as the heroes and which is the villains? I think it's clear that Birds are the heroes and season 27 are the villains,
Birds are
right?
the villains.
We see this is clear, right? This is clear. We don't have to say like
Birds are the villains. Anytime you win multiple championships in a short span, you're the villain. Look at the Warriors. Their Warriors first ring, everybody's like, oh, they're the underdogs. Everybody loves them. And then look what happens after their second ring. Literally everybody hates watching the Warriors.
I don't know. I still remember Chris Mullins, and I still am just happy the Warriors win anything.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the Run DMC Warriors are one of my favorite teams ever. Big Mitch Richmond guy, but it's just Birds are the villains. There's no denying it.
Okay, so who else on the rest of it?
Wait, if Birds are the villains, is Saab the hero then?
No.
No.
Saab can never be the hero.
What am I missing here?
I didn't say season 27 were the heroes. I'm not saying that.
I'm going to say
Pister and Saab are your champions. They're definitely the good guys in this story.
Co-Captain Dax. Don't forget that.
I'm going to say this. Birds, season 27, out for blood because Yosh and I hopped to them.
That's true.
And I'm going to say V2 just because CT's a bot and he's on that team. Those are all your villains. Everybody else are the heroes.
I don't think you can call DS heroes at this point. Like,
no, dude,
like
DS is fucking Luke Skywalker. What are you talking about? They're fighting against Imperial stormtroopers trying to take over the galaxy. They're just standing there by themselves, like we will not give up.
DS has had drama with a lot of. Yeah, DS has caused a lot of drama with teams. Like, I like DS, but there's other people who just do not like DS. So I don't think it's fair to call them heroes.
I think, you're right. DS should also be villains.
So there's only heroes. We don't have any heroes in the league. We all just suck.
Law and Mortar are the heroes for coming to play with us.
Every
Thank you, guys.
team is a villain. I like where this is trending.
This shit is just Arkham Asylum, says Slav.
Is weaponized autism? Are weaponized autism our only heroes?
Definitely not.
Wow.
So it's Law and Mortar standing alone, maybe. But even them are like, I don't know. Are they heroes too? Yeah. Okay. Interesting question. I appreciate that one. Is there anything you would suggest as a change to Ranger? We talked about that to make it more competitive. Keep the MP5 and figure out something else to do as the main weapon, I think is what Eric said, and I kind of agree with that. Otherwise, scrap it. Is that fair?
I said delete it.
Yes.
I don't think I said anything about Ranger about the throwing knife. I think if you get rid of throwing knife, it's pretty balanced. Add like a couple clips to the MP5, keep the range.
Okay.
Because right now, Ranger's I don't think in a good spot, but up close it's unbeatable, especially if you have the knife first. So if you take the knife out and then just put it on MP5, I think it's a lot more balanced. And
I think knife is the only thing that gives it its identity and makes it unique.
Yeah, I like the
Yeah,
knife
but
too.
it's so much burst damage. Like
Yeah,
I
but
said
in that
last
case,
week
if you do that, just play Marine.
like I said last week, it's like, yeah, but it's way better than Marine up close. The MP5 destroys AR.
Well,
Like I said last week, it's the best worst class in the game. Like it's a good class on paper. I just don't know how to utilize it properly.
well, you need the knife because didn't Ninja not use knife when he played
Yeah.
Ranger and it looked horrible?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
what I
know.
was saying.
I
If
don't
you
know
give
who's
MP5,
played it to make it look good. Chuck,
well, that too, yeah. Not
Nah.
even.
no.
like he's the best though that I can think of. Chompy had a few
Chompy
games.
and SBs, but
Yeah,
like,
it's chompy and SBs, but not in real matches.
yeah,
Man.
it's never been useful in any real match.
Story of Chomp's life. Am I right? Oh shit!
That's true.
Oh, no.
1 and 2. Never forget.
All right.
Maybe you should have played Ranger.
Chomp said, "I'll remember that." All right. What are the restrictions around making your own videos of USL matches, squad battles, and USL Live, etc.? I will answer this in two parts. One is the rules require now a 3-minute delay in any live broadcast of an official USL League match. This is coming directly from Tactical, who is interpreting Rule 11, and Spectator Mode, which prevents any possible spec info from giving advantage to either team. For USL Live, I'm fine with you recording my voice. If you want to make a YouTube short or cut up the game for a few highlights for plays and post that, I'm great with it. All I ask is that you don't compete with USL Live by posting the exact same content that we're going to put on our page. Don't post which means don't post a full 30-minute game with my commentary over it. And if you want to post the full 30-minute game, commentate that game yourself. I have no doubt that there are many people out there who are better, more entertaining, more knowledgeable than I am, but just don't copy the exact same content USL Live is making and post it on your channel. Simply don't be a dick.
Yeah, to piggyback off that last little bit, I don't understand the point. Especially if you're not doing the like shorts or clips or whatever, I don't understand the point of just recording your point of view with Rom's commentary. Commentate it yourself. There's no issue with you having your own cast because everybody has different takes. Everybody's looking at something different. Like me, Yosh, Mecca, Rom, when we're all in the booth, we're all watching somebody different for the most part. So it would be good to have somebody else's point of view that might catch something that we don't see or we don't capture on video on USL Live. But stop stealing Rom's content. It's been 3 times now, and after the first time, we thought it was nipped in the bud. It was a pretty obvious fix, and people just still want to test the waters.
All right, anybody else on that?
I mean, just and if you're gonna post it, add something new, like react to it. Do some shit. Don't just fucking copy the exact video with the exact commentary.
Ox suggested
poor art of the quarter.
He suggested to put like a picture in a picture with just talk over it, and I was like, "Yes,
VTuber
please do that. Shit. That would be hilarious." Yeah. Anyway,
if you get VTubers involved, you'll get Staley excited. He loves them cat girls.
I think Yosh has a final announcement for us.
Yeah,
I actually have a mailbag question that was just submitted to me.
Is it good? Does it warrant?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah. So let me pull it up. All right. Is Fausto overreacting with Bax's ban through season 53 and now extending to week 1 of season 54?
I think this is a good juxtaposition to say we should have transparency in there should be a post made for every discipline meted out. And it should the post should detail what the infraction was, what is the penalty, why is it imposed. It doesn't have to be 15 paragraphs. I'm talking like 2. And just so we're all clear on what is happening, what we're supposed to be participating in, because I'm gonna be honest, I'm on staff and I don't exactly know the parameters. And I think there are other people in that same boat as well. If he's banned through the end of the season, he's banned through the end of the season for this activity, this activity, this activity. I think it's transparency that we need, and I support that. But that's me.
I'm with you.
I would like some more transparency, and he was in the USL arena last night. even though he's banned for USL on like a different account. So that's why he was banned for the extra game.
I mean, we don't know what he's banned for. Is he banned from watching the games? Is he banned from participating? What is he banned from? I don't know.
All the above.
All the
I
above.
don't know that.
I definitely did not know that. Maybe I'm just not reading the right things, but I did not know
He's
that.
not even allowed the SB. Like he's not allowed
He's
in
not
any
allowed in the
USL zone.
arena.
Okay.
And what do he do to deserve said ban? I don't know that either.
Yeah, I have no clue. But that's for other people. That's just my feedback, and that's the issue. Is I don't get to make an opinion on it at all in my own mind because I don't even know what happened.
So I got a follow up, I guess, comment, if you will. A discipline toward a player which is not directly pertaining or related to USL League. Why would it be in the news post? Well, if it's not directly pertaining to USL, why is he banned from USL?
The reason he's banned is because of USL events, though.
Okay, so if it's that's what I'm saying. That's all I need to know.
USL events, then it should be announced for his punishment. Like the staff at least should know why he's banned.
Yeah, and if it's MP that banned him, like we can't do anything about that. We have no voice in that. That's fine. But if it's USL imposing a ban, Bowen just asked the question in chat, why does everyone in the league need to know about disciplinary action? Because we're in the league. Because we are the league. It's the players in the game. And I think every single person deserves to know why someone gets banned. As Tactical is pointing out here, his captain, I agree, deserves to know. I think all the other players deserve to know. It's not that big of a league. I think we need to know why punishments are given out and what they're for, and that way we can adjust our conduct accordingly to the rules.
I mean, it's not like it's hidden knowledge. People talk about it on the Season 27 Discord all the time on why he was banned. So like it's going to leak. So I don't see the point of keeping it private. If you look at any, and I know it's kind of a silly comparison when we do this sometimes, but any league in the world, if somebody gets banned, you know why. It's not like, oh, this guy just disappeared.
Exactly.
So I don't understand why there'd be different rules for USL. I know it's not a sports league, but I don't know. It does.
And also, Mecca, just to touch on the Season 27 Discord, you expect me to believe any and everything Pister, Kevin, or Bax talk about on that Discord?
No, absolutely not.
I take any comment they say with a very small grain of salt because 9 out of 10 times it's just a fucking troll. So whatever they're talking about probably doesn't even pertain to the real reason he's banned.
I would believe Kevin. Kevin absolutely calls out Bax all the time, so he's somebody you can. But otherwise, point taken.
Yeah,
and plus,
I'm just saying it's public knowledge because it leaks.
Yeah,
it's not like it's just Bax and Fausto and staff who knows why he's banned. So I'm not sure what the point of keeping it private is when it's gonna leak no matter what.
And it lets people know what's okay and what's not okay.
Yes,
that too,
yeah. And it also builds a history of infractions. Like if I could read every single one of Bax's violations in a row and tell him exactly what he did just to earn that punishment, and then we have a stack of 30 of them. Bax, man, maybe it's time you take a year break from this game. Like for real. Like that maybe that needs to be the punishment imposed. I don't know. But right now I don't even know what he did. I have no idea.
Yeah, but when it's not that we're surprised that he got banned, we just want to know why so we don't get banned. Like what's the line of
I mean, even if it's harassment, you don't have to put the exact language. You could say harassment of staff. I know that's one of the things he's violated. And if that's it, just say for repeated abuse and harassment of staff, this is the punishment imposed. And I'm fine with that.
I want to say I do know why he gets banned. I'm not going to expose it publicly if they don't want it, public, but he deserved to get banned. So it's not like it's a controversial opinion on why, or a controversial reason for him getting banned. I've seen the evidence. He deserved to get banned. So why keep that secret? I don't know.
And my understanding is ban evasion. He enters an arena yesterday. If that's the case, absolutely he deserves to be banned for the first game of next season. Absolutely,
that was the case yesterday. Yeah, he violated his probation.
100%. Any other final comments from the panel? We're at 1 hour and 20 right now, so I don't want to steal any more of your valuable time.
Nope.
Okay.
Not Albany.
All right, that'll do it for USL Live and the Season 53 Week 7 preview show. You can play Infantry for free right now on Steam. Type in Free Infantry in the search bar or visit freeinfantry.com. If you're interested in league play, please visit uslzone.com. You can sign up there on the site in addition to viewing rosters, forums, statistics for the games, and links to past games. Speaking of past games, we invite you to check out the catalog of previous matches we have cultivated on the Infantry Online YouTube page. Feel free to relive the nostalgia anytime you want, and make sure to like and subscribe. I want to say thank you to my co-hosts for tonight's show. We had Mecca, Yosh, Herth, and Eric. Thank you to our executive producer, Military Police. This has been Romulocks. You've been listening to USL Live.